Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the Sharing the Gospel series, and we are on episode 6. Jesus rose from the dead 3 days later. If you guys haven't already subscribed to my channel, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys are commenting down below if you're not understanding anything. This whole premise of this channel is for us to understand the gospel of Jesus Christ. So if indeed you are not understanding something, please let me know as soon as possible so that we can go over it and we can all leave understanding the gospel better than when we started. Okay? Make sure you guys grab a notepad and a pen because today is going to be a filled video, but we're all coming with scripture and facts and proof. So let's jump into it. We are going to start this video off with understanding the timeline from Jesus' death to his resurrection and all the events that occurred in between.
Hey guys, I just had to insert this in the video just for further explanation. Please, this is not my information. Go to Tomorrow World's YouTube channel. They have the full video explaining this full timeline. This is from before Jesus was put to death to after Jesus' resurrection. They do a great job of explaining it. My pastor explained this to me prior to me finding this, but me being a visual learner, I needed a visual representation, so I went on YouTube and I searched for a great representation that lined up with what my pastor was saying and what the scripture was saying. They also have all the scripture references here, so guys, please go to the YouTube channel and watch the full video. They do a great job of explaining it in detail. You'll see day one night, day 1 day, day 2 night, day 2 day. They even explain it. They even explain the concept of when God created the days. He created night first and then day. Go back to Genesis and read it over. Yeah, just to go over even the high day, they explain the high day is the annual Sabbath day versus the weekly Sabbath day. That's why hence nothing can happen on those days. They do a great job of explaining to it. So just again, go ahead to Tomorrow World's YouTube channel. I had to print this out for my own reference because like they did such a great job, and they also have the scripture beside every event so you can go and further do your studying. And it has the whole specific timeline of when the days fall and when the midnight falls. So you can see it took 3 days for Jesus to rise again. And so he had to die on the Wednesday at around he died Wednesday at around 3 p.m. and his body was put in the tomb at around 6 p.m. And you'll see like everything lines up perfectly. So yeah, go to their YouTube channel. Please support them. They did a really good job of explaining everything in detail.
We are going to start off with Matthew chapter 12, verse 38 to 40. Then certain of the scribes and of the Pharisees answered, saying, Master, we would see a sign from thee. But he answered and said unto them, An evil and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall be no sign given to it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. For as Jonas was 3 days and 3 nights in the whale's belly, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth. So Jesus was very specific on the timeline of how long he would be in the heart of the earth, that he even referenced a prophet Jonas, as he was in the whale's belly for 3 days and 3 nights. He was adamant about sharing this information to the apostles and getting them to understand, okay, this is when I'm gonna die, this is what's gonna happen, this is when I'm gonna be in the heart of the earth, this is when I'm gonna resurrect. Okay, one thing about Jesus is he was very clear and direct to his apostles. To go on to the next stage, the 3 days and 3 nights, this is very important because again, nowadays we have Good Friday, which people believe that Jesus died on, and then we have Easter Sunday, which is Jesus' resurrection. But that timeline is false because it doesn't make sense between Good Friday and Easter Sunday. 3 days and 3 nights has not transpired. Okay, Jesus died on the Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the cross, and they had to have his body wrapped and put in the tomb by 6 p.m. So here I just have some scriptures to back up that we are indeed following the timeline of 3 days and 3 nights Jesus spent in the heart of the earth. We're going to start off with John chapter 2 verse 19, Mark chapter 8 verse 31, and Luke chapter 24 verse 46. All those scriptures, you will see the reference of 3 days and 3 nights. Our next point is the tomb was empty. We are going to deep dive into Matthew chapter 28 verse 1 to 7. In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for an angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone from the door, and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his remnant white as snow. And for fear of him the keepers did shake, and became as dead men. And the angel answered and said unto the woman, Fear not, for I know that ye seek Jesus which was crucified. He's not here, for he has risen, as he said. Come, see the place where the Lord lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary, mother of Joseph and James, they came to embalm Jesus' body to preserve it as best as possible by putting like spices and herbs on it. And when they got there, they realized that Jesus' body was not there. So they encountered the angels, and the angels told them to go to Galilee and tell the disciples this amazing news. So the backstory to this point is that the Roman guards in the morning realized that the tomb was empty and Jesus' body wasn't there. So they went to the scribes and the chief priests and the elders and told them this information. And the chief priests and elders, they wanted to hide that Jesus' body was actually resurrected. And they told the Roman soldiers, they paid the Roman soldiers and told them to lie and say that, oh, the apostles came in the middle of the night and stole the body from the tomb. Just to hide, just to cover up that Jesus was indeed resurrected. So you can see that the chief priests and the Pharisees and the elders did not want this information getting out, that Jesus was indeed resurrection, because that would confirm that Jesus is indeed the Son of God and the Messiah. Our next point is going to be Jesus physically appeared to his friends, his family, the apostles, the disciples, and 500 witnesses after his crucifixion, with the wounds still in his hand, his side, and his feet, to prove that he has indeed risen from the dead and on the exact timeline that he said he would. So we actually have the order in which Jesus appeared to everyone. The scripture that we are going to be referencing to is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 5 to 8, where Paul is talking to the Corinth church, and he actually lets them know the exact order in which Jesus Christ appears to everyone after his crucifixion. And that he was seen of Cephas, then of the 12. After that, he was seen of above 500 brethren at once, of whom the greater part remain unto this present, but some are fallen asleep. After that he was seen of James, then all the apostles. And last of all he was seen of me also, as of one born out of due time. So we are going to get into that order. So Jesus first appears to the two witnesses, the two Marys, Mary Magdalene and Mary, mother of James and Joseph. Next, Jesus appears to Peter the apostle alone. This is the same Peter that denies Jesus 3 times before his crucifixion. Next, he appears to the 2 disciples on the road to Emmaus. Then he appears to the disciples with and without Thomas. Then he appears to the 7 disciples at the Sea of Galilee. Then Jesus appears to the 11 apostles on a mountain in Galilee. And there are only 11 of them now because Judas killed himself. Then Jesus appears to the 500 people, the 500 witnesses. Then Jesus appears to specifically James, his brother, kind of brother cousin. Then he appears to all of the apostles again, and this is the final time that he will be with the apostles before his ascension. And then after Jesus' ascension, he appears to Saul, who turns into Paul on the road to Damascus. So that is a full list of whom Jesus appears to after his crucifixion, and then also after his ascension to heaven. So to add on to this point, when Jesus meets with the apostles in the locked room, when the apostles are trying to flee from the Jews' persecution upon them, Jesus appears. Jesus does not go through any door or any window. He appears in the room, and this just shows that he is in his glorified body, and he has indeed risen from the dead, defeating the devil, defeating sin. Okay, so but Jesus goes a step further to prove that, because when Jesus appears in the room, they think he's a ghost, and they are indeed afraid, meaning that they don't fully believe that Jesus was resurrected. But again, these are Jesus' apostles. These were his students. They have graduated. They should have more faith in Jesus and what he said would happen. But in that moment, they are so terrified that they think they see a ghost. So Jesus explains to them clearly that he is not a ghost. A ghost does not have skin and bone. Again, remember, skin and bone. So there's a specific reason why he says just skin and bone. So, and then Jesus proceeds to eat some fish and eat in front of the apostles to know that, okay, can a ghost really consume food? Can a ghost digest food? No. So that is Jesus taking a step further to really instill confidence and instill trust in his apostles that he has indeed risen from the dead. And you will see this in John chapter 20, verse 19 to 23, and Luke chapter 24, verse 36 to 43. And for my last point, Jesus fulfilled prophecy. Prior to Jesus' crucifixion, he specifically told his apostles what would happen to him, how he would die. And Jesus explained this in Matthew chapter 16, verse 21 to 23. Jesus explains to his disciples that he must go onto Jerusalem to experience suffering under the elder, chief priests, and scribes, to be killed and being raised again on the third day. And this is, he has this conversation with his apostles before he is put to death. This occurs before he dies. So he tells his apostles, he tells his followers exactly what will happen to him. He is indeed fulfilling prophecy. So when he comes back and he tells them, hey, I am flesh and bone, watch me eat this fish, watch me eat before you touch me, feel. And that's why he asked Thomas to touch his wounds, because you cannot, a ghost, you cannot touch them, they're not flesh. So Jesus did indeed fulfill prophecy, and that is what he came to do. He came to fulfill prophecy. I hope you guys connected to this video. I hope you guys got so much more understanding in this video on Jesus dying, defeating death, sin, and the devil, and rising again 3 days later. For all my believers out there, you know how much weight this day holds, this event holds. So I hope you guys gained more clarity, and if you guys have any questions, make sure you guys post them down below. He has risen, and I'll see you guys in the next video.